Hello everyone, this is Music and All, back at it with another video. So, the most recent videos I've been making are very BL themed, and that's because that's some of the content I consume the most. And I was watching Theory of Love, and not watching, I was rewatching it for the first time in a couple years actually since it came out. And I just had the most random idea to start making videos based on BL ships that sank and we will never see again, most likely. And from then on, I just made a bunch of different shows on a list, and I'm like, I need to commit myself to doing this now because I'm excited. Hello, everyone. So, I just want to note that despite my first BL related video, I won't be able to show clips from this show because I actually already posted it and I got a video copyright strike and I tried to dispute it and it got rejected. So, girl, GMMTV, they don't want me speaking out. And I still wanted to make this video, so I'll either put pictures of what I'm talking about, like stills, if I can, and hopefully it's not too tedious, but or you just have to take my word for it and, you know, do your own research, I guess, by watching the show. So yeah. So with the first show, I already mentioned it, the first series, if you will, it's Theory of Love. And the BL ship that I'm talking about here is Earth White. And Earth plays P-eun in this show, or just Eun, but since the actor's older than me, he's just P-eun. And White plays P2, or just 2, because he's younger than P-eun, and the other characters in the show are all third year, so they don't give him honorifics. So, for context, I've never seen anything with Earth Mix, and Earth Mix have been a partnership, I think, right after this ended, or something like that, because they had, like, I think their first work was Tale of a Thousand Stars, but that's not important. What is important is the fact that Only Friends Dream On is coming. We don't know when yet, as I'm filming this, but I'm sad. I'm literally so freaking sad. It's crazy. Um, so I just wanted to note one thing. For Theory of Love, they associated love for 2 with emotions behind the camera and how he takes his pictures. And this is important because when we are first introduced to one of 2's love interests besides P-eun, um, the girl, Lynn, she noticed the vibe behind the camera had a different feel compared to other people. And it was revealed to us, and I think 2's friends, that he's had a crush on her since high school. He also mentioned it to P-eun, and that's kind of how like they get together, because when P-eun is first introduced, it's as if like the writers, or just from an audience perspective, we're made to believe that he has a crush on one of the main leads. I'm not even gonna name bro because bro's not relevant to the story. But yeah, and over time I'll talk about how they associate love with 2 and his camera work, because he's a film major, but they had like a photography lesson that they had to do or something, blah blah blah, don't care. So we're first introduced to P-eun early in the show. I'll put the episode in post-production. I didn't really try because by the time I came up with this idea, I was halfway through the show. Actually, more than halfway. But he was introduced early on. And honestly, like, for this series, I'm just gonna be talking about my thoughts because I didn't put the episode number. Oopsie. But I said I honestly enjoyed them together, and I wish we would have seen more. than just like the 10 scenes that they had together. And I would I'm a I'm just a sucker for Earth. I've been a sucker for Earth since Water Boys the series. So sue me for being biased. Sue me for being biased. Post production music and all, because I'm over here rewatching stuff in order to, provide you guys some context by showing you what happened in the show. And I didn't talk about the good, bad, and the ugly that happened throughout their relationship. And I forgot to mention how two only worked with Un because he was threatening to expose Two's crush on Lynn, because Two had a crush on her while she was dating P Un's best friend. So that's how, one, he knew, and two, like, he had perfect leverage. Anyways, back to the show. Even though there was little scenes between the two, I did like how the editors of the show showcased their flashbacks between the characters in the form of a film tape rewinding. I think it's really cool that they did that, because they are film majors at heart, and I like how they played into that, and how it wasn't just like a university show where they're just like, oh, I'm a I'm a nursing student, and then we never see them in their natural habitat. So I enjoyed that. But I also I can't I have to point out that Two was wrong for dating the girl Lynn while having a crush on P Un, because that was just emotional cheating, and they only got together in episode 9, like him and Lynn, because because he was jealous of the fact that um okay, so for context, P Un, Two, and like all of their other mutual friends were at some seniors like pool party because they all finished their midterms, or was it finals? Don't care, doesn't matter. And they were playing Truth or Dare, and then they were playing like a guess the guess the keyword in relation to a person. So the senior was like, "Oh, who is the person that P Un likes?" And everybody was like, "Oh, it's the main lead." And obviously everybody was uncomfortable with that statement, and then Two like walked into the pool and like, you know, tried to drown himself, and then they showed a flashback of one of his first interactions with P Un, where he stopped Two from drowning himself, even though he wasn't actually trying to drown himself, but that was the sentiment. So I like that, even though, oh, so Two invited Lin to the pool party, and after P Un didn't really deny the fact that like the crush that everybody thinks he has on Two was not right, Two decided, hey, do you want to go on? Do you want to be my girlfriend? I've liked you since we were in high school, and now that you and your boyfriend broke up, like, can I be the only one in your life? And I I don't know. I don't know, like, because at the end of the day, like, you knew that you didn't like her. You didn't, well, you liked her, but not in that way. Well, fast forward to them getting together, even though it was for like a week. That's okay. So, you know how I said that they associate Two and his camera work and his emotions towards a certain individual, right? This comes up again. So, so Lynn hires Two to be the cameraman for a random thing that she's doing with her friends. I didn't pay attention to that because she's not relevant. And so she was looking at the work that he did for her, and she noticed that the vibe behind the camera wasn't the same as when she was first introduced for the class assignment that they had worked on originally. And she was just like, but that's okay, like, I think it's just because I gained weight, or you just didn't work the right camera angles. But in that moment, I know Girly knew that he didn't hold those same feelings for her. And others knew too because they were pointing it out, and it was just it was crazy. That goes on, but before I tell you how Tu and Pi-eun gets together, I just want to note that I will never understand the concept of people acting like a bitch, or just like bitchy towards you, or just, I don't know, exuding malice just to find out that they've had a crush on you the entire time. And I say this was in reference to P-eun asking Tu to work for him today, because he was working that boy like a dog, having him do like everybody else's job, and then he took P2 out for dinner, which is like okay, and then like he was saying other things and just doing other things and being like, "Oh, you're the first person I've ever brought here." And then the next time we see P-eun or something, he brought another broski to the like to the spot.
Okay, so hopefully this is the last time I have to intervene, but post-production music and all here. And I forgot to mention after, I'm pretty sure it's after because my memory doesn't serve me, so don't hold me to it. But after no, after two and work together, two ends up being sick as a result of one of their friends. So P comes over and sees that he's working on some stuff. And I forgot what time the clock says, but it's very late at night. Like I think it's the AMs. And PM's like, yeah, no, P2, sorry guys, is like, yeah, I'm sick, but hey, this is due in the morning. So PM's like, okay, I got it. Like, just take a rest. And then it's like 4:30 in the morning when P2 wakes up and he's like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't finish. I didn't finish." And P-eun is like, "That's okay because I finished it for you." And they're kind of like bantering or whatever. And then P-eun walks over to Two's little nook and he sees the perks of being a wallflower. So that's how the the writers of the show kind of paralleled that couple because that's when P-eun utilizes the quote, "You you accept the love that you think you deserve." Yeah. So
And at like while Tu was seeing P-eun with another guy at the spot that he took Tu out to, he Tu was there with Tu was there with Lynn. Sorry, it's confusing saying two like T-O and T-W-O like the character, but neither here nor there. So after Tu saw P-eun with another guy at the spot and having flashbacks with those two being there together, he tells Lynn that they should find another spot and that he doesn't want to get gout from the chicken because they were eating chicken feet at the spot. I mean, I'm not gonna yuck somebody else's yum. You do you, boo. And then, so we're in episode 10 out of 12, I fear. When we say second lead, we meant it. Um, they were working on the school play, and two left. No, let me rewind. So they were working on the school play, and during the pool party that I mentioned, two overheard P-eun talking to the senior, being like, "Oh yeah, I kissed some girl in the bathroom because I was just heartbroken." And the and the senior was like, "Heartbroken? Why?" And P.Un. was like, oh, don't worry about that. That person is taken. So, Two has been just thinking about this the entire time since the pool party. And he confronts P.Un. during the rehearsal when they're alone. And he's like, do you have a crush on me? Do you have a crush on me? Answer the damn question. And yeah, P.N. was like, oh, I've liked you since the freshman orientation. It was a whole thing. It was crazy. It was crazy. But the rehearsal ends after that, and Two just goes about his day. Because it's just like, yeah, he likes P.N., but he's in a relationship. Which is like, okay. Okay, buddy, you do that. So, Two goes to his car, and his girlfriend. He had to pick up his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is just like, they're still at the university, by the way. His girlfriend is telling him about her day. Like, Lynn is just yapping, and he sees that the power goes out at the university, which is like, girl, what, how, when, what, whatever. And you know what this man does? Mid conversation, he gets up and runs out of his car to go back to the theater because he remembers that the senior told Two that P.Un. is scared of the dark. So, and when he's in the dark, like, he has panic attacks and, like, mentally checks out and, like, shakes himself in the dark for an hour or so. So, this man just goes to comfort him, and when P.Un. asks him about it, he's like, oh, I don't know why I'm doing it, but yeah, I just am. And and Lynn was like, where the fuck my man at? So she goes back in the theater because that's where she knows he came from. And Lynn catches him 4K holding that other guy. And you know, she's a warrior because he ends up dropping her off at her dorm, and she has to be the bigger man and basically break off the relationship because he was like, oh, can't we just forget about what happened in that theater? And I forgot what she said, but I'll insert it. But like, honestly, hashtag Lynn should be mine because she's a warrior for that. Like, what do you mean you catch your, like, not only did you suspect your man, like, emotionally cheating, but you catch him in the arms of another man in 4K after running out on you mid conversation. Anyways, that was episode 10. So in episode 11, Two takes a picture that would be used in the playbill, as we could see, but that picture wasn't taken the same day, but rather it was taken during one of the rehearsals for the play because Two is responsible for the behind the scenes footage and all that because we know all of them are film majors. Woohoo! And the playbill has a quote for P.Un. and it's talking about how, like, he's sad that, like, all of the work that they did for the play just won't have the same effect in his heart because he knows that, like, he won't be able to see them in person. And P and Two is just like, what is this man saying? So he goes to the senior, and the senior is like, oh, you didn't know, girl? He's going overseas for an internship, and from the sounds of it, that man is not going back. And he was talking about how P.Un. was telling him how, like, he wasn't gonna go at first, but because of, like, certain circumstances, he has no reason to stay. And to that I say, we know what this is implying because what else could that mean? He didn't get that dick. He didn't get his man, so he's jumping ship. And honestly, I hate how P.Un. didn't want to go or did want to go, based on a relationship status. And I I didn't like them not having the potential to not be together or be together based on whether or not this man went for the internship, because like I feel like if someone were to sacrifice based on a relationship status where it's like nothing is guaranteed. Y'all are not guaranteed to last forever. You don't know how that would have changed your life trajectory. I feel like that would lead to resentments and what ifs and conditionals, and I wouldn't want to subject myself to that. It's like y'all could have just done long distance. And it's just like you could have stayed for the internship but came back, because he didn't plan on coming back to Thailand. It's just like you could have came back to Thailand. You could always still visit your mans. Like, don't get me started. But after finding that out, two in the boys, two in the other main characters, they go to an island to like blow off steam or whatever. And while they're over here living it up, P-Un posts on Facebook, because Facebook was like that. It was everything. It was everything. He posts on Facebook saying like goodbye Thailand or like goodbye Bangkok or something, and Two sees this and he's like, I gotta go. I get me off this island. I need to go. And the person that drives the boat to and from the island, he was like, sorry Charlie, you see that boat? That's that's all the way over there? Yeah, that was the last boat. We're closing up shop because of the storm. So he's like, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go. Do you not hear me? I have to go. I have to go now. And while he's over here crashing out about not being able to get on the boat, you know who pulls up? You know who pulls up despite posting on Facebook like 40 minutes ago talking about bye bye Bangkok or bye bye Thailand? P-Un. P-Un. And Two was like, girly, what? Aren't you supposed to be on your flight? Aren't you supposed to be leaving Thailand for the internship? And P-Un was like, oh, I decided to not go. And Two was like, why? Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh my goodness. I was gonna make my next point, and I forgot. I forgot to give you a little tidbit. So, P-Un and Third, they have a shared interest for the perks of being a wallflower, and P-Un shared that he loves the movie so much that his copy of the DVD broke. So so Two lent him his copy of the perks of being a wallflower. So when Two found out that this man was leaving to go to do an internship in America, I think I don't know if it was specified if it was America, but girl, where else is they going? But the senior that told him the news gave him his copy of the perks of being a wallflower back. So this is relevant to what I was going to say, because P-Un was like, yeah, I'm not going. And Two was like, why, girl? Why? What are you saying? And he was like, because I love you. And I liked this portion because I liked how they paralleled the perks of being a wallflower and them as a couple, because I've never seen the movie, first of all, but based on what Two was saying how like he didn't like the ending of the perks of being a wallflower, because the people that they wanted to get together didn't get together or didn't stay together because one of them was moving to a different city. And he wished that they could have made it work in some way where they got together before that person left to go to another city. And like, yeah, I love it. I loved it. I love it. And you know, they hugged it after like confessing their love for each other, which it should have been a kiss because we never saw them kiss. Not even in a special episode because P-Un wasn't in there. which I'm gonna cry, gonna cry. I'm literally made me pissed off because they were still dating by the time the special episode occurred, and they were working together. Literally, two was gonna work in P Studios. So what are we doing? So yeah, that's my final thoughts about Theory of Love and the BL ship of Earth and White. Earth and White. R.I.P. Because that was 2019, and I think Tale of 1,000 Stars was 2021. Because I know there's a girl involved in some way, but I don't know how. And one of the categories of this is gender bending. So if it is a gender bending kind of story, let me know. And if it's not, that's okay. We can do honorable mention. Cause I had to watch these shows. I had to watch these shows in order to give you a proper reaction. And I watched them today, which by the time I post this, it would be like a week prior. But I watched them today and yesterday, and I wanted to make sure they were fresh in my mind. But that's enough yapping for me. So if you're seeing this video first, stay tuned for Slam Dance, which I already spoiled for you because that is the part 2 of this video. See you on the next one, honeys. Bye.